The apex did not cry. This was known across 17 star systems. The apex, those towering, silver-furred predators who walked upright on two legs and commanded fear with a single glance, did not weep. They did not tremble. They did not break. High Alpha Kale Vera had led his pack for 40 cycles without shedding a single tear, not even when 3 of his warriors fell in the Battle of Kethera. Grief, to the apex, was a wound worn inside. Silent. Still. Armored. So when the human cried, none of them knew what to do. Mara Ellison had been assigned to the apex vessel Ironmaw as a cultural liaison, a diplomatic experiment proposed by the Galactic Council, who believed that humans and apex could, theoretically, coexist. The apex had accepted the proposal the way they accepted most things, with cold calculation and zero expectation of surprise. They had been surprised almost immediately. Mara was small by apex standards. She stood barely chest height to the lowest-ranked warrior in Kale's pack. She had soft brown skin, dark curly hair she kept pulled back during working hours, and eyes the color of old bark, warm, watchful, and unsettlingly direct. She did not flinch when apex warriors bared their teeth in greeting. She did not shrink when High Alpha Kale Vera studied her in that particular predator way of his, still, calculating, measuring. She simply looked back. "Your species is strange," Kale had told her on the 3rd day. "We get that a lot," Mara had replied, and gone back to her work. The pack had not known what to make of her. She was, by every biological measurement, prey class. Soft body. Slow reflexes compared to theirs. No natural armor, no venom, no claws worth mentioning. And yet she moved through their ship like she belonged there, curious, unafraid, occasionally humming songs to herself in the corridor as if she had not noticed she was surrounded by apex predators of the galaxy's most feared warrior species. Subalpha Dren had asked her once, "Do you not feel fear?" Mara had tilted her head. "Of course I do." "Then why do you not show it?" She had smiled, that strange, soft, human expression that the apex still had not fully decoded. "Because being afraid doesn't mean I have to stop moving." Dren had reported this to Kale. Kale had filed it away in that vast internal library he kept of things he did not yet understand. It was on the 42nd day that everything changed. The Ironmaw had docked briefly at Station Vel, a mid-class waypoint that served a dozen species. Routine resupply. Mara had requested leave to walk the station, as humans apparently needed what they called air that doesn't smell like warriors, and Kale had permitted it with the silent understanding that 2 of his scouts would follow at a distance. The scouts Ofen and Sola reported back to him within the hour, their voices carrying something unusual. Uncertainty. "High Alpha," Fen said carefully. "You should see this." Kale found Mara in a side corridor of the station's lower market level. She was on her knees. At first, his predator instincts read the posture as submission, injury, perhaps, or surrender. His hand moved toward his sidearm. But then his eyes adjusted, and he saw what she was kneeling for. A cat cub. Not an apex. Not even a sapient species, just a small, four-legged creature from the Felon homeworld, a type that traders sometimes kept aboard ships as companions. This one was barely larger than Mara's 2 fists put together. Its left foreleg was bent at the wrong angle, broken, clearly, probably trampled in the busy lower corridor, and it was making a sound so small and pained that even Kale's ears had to strain to catch it. Mara had both hands curved around it, not quite touching, as if she was afraid to hurt it further. She was rocking very slightly. And she was crying. Not the way the apex understood distress, no roaring, no violence, no teeth. She was simply leaking. Tears moving down her face in quiet streams. Her breath coming in soft, broken pulls. Her whole body curled toward this creature as if she could shelter it from its own pain just by being close. "It's okay," she was whispering. "Hey. Hey, little one. I've got you. You're not alone, okay?" I've got you. The cat cub's tiny eyes, glassy with pain, were fixed on her face. Kale stood very still. Behind him, Fan and Sola had gone completely silent. Mara reached into the kit she always carried on her belt, another human habit the pack had found odd and now reconsidered, and produced a small med wrap. With extraordinary gentleness, with hands that did not shake despite the tears still falling from her eyes, she began to stabilize the leg. Whispering the whole time. "It's okay. I've got you. You're safe now. I've got you." It took 6 minutes. Kale counted. When it was done, she sat back on her heels and held the cub against her chest, one hand curved over its small head. Her tears were slowing. The cub had stopped crying. It was, impossibly, beginning to purr. Only then did Mara seem to notice the audience she had gathered, not just Kale and his scouts, but a small cluster of station-goers who had stopped to watch. Several alien species. All of them staring. She looked up at Kale. Her eyes were still wet, her expression unguarded in a way he had never seen from her. "It was hurt," she said simply. As if that explained everything. To her, it did. That night, in the privacy of the High Alpha's quarters, Kale sat with his pack's war council and did something he rarely did. He thought aloud. "She wept," he said. "Yes," said Subalpha Dren. "For an animal. A non-sapient creature with no political value, no tactical use, no connection to her mission. Yes." Silence. She did not stop functioning, Kale continued slowly. She wept and she acted. Simultaneously. Her hands did not shake. Her focus did not break. She stabilized the creature while in full emotional distress and did not make a single error in the treatment. More silence. "In our training," said Elder Scout Veth, the oldest member of the pack, "we are taught that emotion compromises performance. That the warrior who feels too deeply becomes the warrior who dies." "Yes," said Kale. "We are taught this. The human disproves it." Kale turned to look at the elder. "Not just disproves it. She inverts it." He leaned forward, silver eyes sharp. "She wept because she cared. And because she cared, she moved. The pain did not freeze her, it fueled her. She ran toward the suffering instead of away from it." The council was quiet for a long moment. "We have weapons that destroy," said Dren finally. "We have warriors who do not flinch. We have endurance and strength and tactical minds. But this," he paused. "This is something we do not have a word for." "I do," said Kale. They looked at him. "In the old tongue," he said, "there is a phrase, Kethval Saran. It translates, approximately, as the mercy that cannot be defeated. He paused. "We stopped using it. We considered it weakness. And now?" Kale was quiet for a moment. "Then, I watched a soft-bodied, prey-class human kneel in a dirty corridor and weep for something that could not even understand her words. And I watched that same human hold herself together through sheer will and fix a broken thing with steady hands." His voice dropped. "If she can bring that force to bear in a corridor, what does she bring to a battlefield? To a negotiation? To a moment of crisis?" No one answered. No one had an answer. "I have faced warlords," Kale said quietly. "I have stood before creatures that could crush starships with their hands. I have never once felt what I felt in that corridor." He met each of his council members' eyes in turn. "I felt humbled." The next morning, Mara arrived at the bridge to find a small, folded piece of metal on her station console. She picked it up, turned it over. It was Apex made, she could tell by the craftsmanship, and shaped like a claw, but curved inward. Protective rather than threatening. She looked up to find High Alpha Kale Vera watching her from across the bridge. "What is this?" she asked. "Kethval Saran," he said. "It is the highest honor my people give." It has not been awarded in 300 cycles. A pause. It means, the mercy that cannot be defeated. Mara looked at the small metal claw in her palm. Then she looked at him. For the cat, she said. For everything you are, he said. That we do not yet know how to be. The bridge was silent. Every apex warrior on deck had stopped moving. Mara closed her fingers around the metal. How's the cub doing, by the way, she asked. And for the first time in 40 cycles of command, High Alpha Kale Vera of the Apex, who did not smile, who did not bend, who had never once been called warm by any living creature in any star system, almost smiled. Sleeping, he said. In my quarters. It seems to have claimed my second chair. Mara grinned. They do that. Across 17 star systems, the Apex did not cry. But they were beginning, slowly, to understand why humans did. And they were beginning, even more slowly, to understand that it was not weakness. It was the most terrifying kind of strength they had ever witnessed. The kind that refused to stop caring.